All right, people. This is the Need to Know Crosstalk Show. My name is Ezekiel Dorset. My name is Zeke. This is Harry Mattadine.
Again.
Today, we're here in the sun, enjoying some amazing weather on a Saturday afternoon. And what a great topic we got to add to the five-part series on dry fasting and five elements. So today we're talking on dry fasting and the benefits of the sun in all aspects. Sun gazing, sunbathing, nudism. The whole works. Hopefully we'll get an array of information out of Mr. Harry Mattadine.
And you too. Both got knowledge, yeah.
And we'll relay this and hopefully you can take it on board and do as you so wish. But that being said, let's just kickstart with that. Sorry about that. Dry fasting. How are you feeling anyway today?
I feel great.
Yeah.
2 days into dry fast, another one. Did a 3-day one with Seki earlier this week. I really do believe, and we'll touch base this again. It's giving me more energy to go through the dry fast. The sun, it's giving you energy to make these things possible and pushing you further into detox. But I think it's giving you energy and nutrition, and there is science available to say that it's so beneficial for all of us. It's way more than just a thing in the sky that heats up our bodies. It's essential to life. Zeke said it's like the progenitor of life. Without it, there is no fruits, there is no trees, there is no plants, there is no humans. I think we'd be dead. There was no sun, in my opinion. We wouldn't be surviving.
It'd be a different world. It'd be a different world for sure, definitely. So obviously you share quite a few videos on some days, and obviously you're into your nudism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So let's go on with, let's look at dry fasting and the benefits of the sun to the skin.
Okay.
Can we touch base on that?
Yeah, sure. So look at this. Like, I think sunlight to the eyes is the most important to people. However, the best way to describe it, and I think of it, is like your skin and eyes and skin is like a little solar panel. So you want to be receiving light into your solar panels. Think of what a solar panel does. It converts sunlight into energy. Well, you've got solar panels in your eyes and your skin. So you want to be doing not just your eyes if you're into health. For more medicine, you want to be getting your skin exposed. That includes your chest. That includes your privates. Very important for men to raise your testosterone levels, to have your privates in the sun, or to wear what I'm wearing now, which is Kaniki Tambury shorts, which are very cheap online. You can buy, so it lets most light in. And when the sun hits the skin, it does something magic, and much more than just the eyes, and it creates health. And that's where I think nudism comes into it, because nudism is not just a freedom thing. Nudism is a health thing, and you will feel energetic and lively when you get your skin receptors to the sunlight. I can talk a little bit about the mechanisms. Some of them I know.
Please.
Yeah. So your skin has nitric oxide or nitrites and nitrates that get converted into nitric oxide on them. It's designed by whatever you want to call it, God, nature, evolution. And as soon as the sun comes in contact with the nitric oxide, the nitrites and nitrate in the skin, what it does is it pushes this into the bloodstream. Now, it's a free radical, nitric oxide, but it's also really important because it's a vasodilator. Dilates the blood vessels, also excites the nervous system in a very beneficial manner. So as soon as the sun hits the skin and the eyes, it pushes the nitric oxide into the bloodstream and it relaxes you. And that's one of the many factors we're going to talk about today, and why the sun feels so good, because you're getting nitric oxide into the bloodstream. You feel that relaxation. You feel the deep breathing, which I believe is the nitric oxide getting pumped in the bloodstream. And it feels great to have this nitric oxide. It's really important, a mechanism there that needs to be talked about. This nitric oxide cures a lot of diseases and also lowers your blood pressure, because they've proven in studies the sun lowers your blood pressure, and science believes, and I think they're correct, one of the main mechanisms for lowering your blood pressure in the sun is that vasodilation of nitric oxide on contact with your skin. So the more skin you get, the higher your blood nitric oxide levels go up, and then you just feel amazing and you slow your breath down. And the breath is key, right? So the sun slows your breath down. So.
Is maybe you can quote me on this, I'm not sure, but what about your metabolism? How does that work with the sun?
That's interesting. My opinion, I'm not entirely sure on these things, just giving our opinions. I think it will speed up metabolism. If you relate it to the chakra system, I think that the metabolism is linked in with the yellow chakra, the digestive in the middle, and the sun has got all visible spectrums, colors of light, but it's definitely got the yellow. It's going to light up your metabolism. So that yellow light enters the spectrum of light enters, the sunlight enters the eyes, and then it goes out into different colors. So the purple of the light gets lit up here, the blue, the throat, the green, the heart, and then the yellow, the sun gets into to raise metabolism. Also, to go deeper with that, we've got the thyroid controls metabolism, and sunlight to the thyroid definitely enhances your metabolism. And if you go deeper, when you look to a sun gaze to a midday sun, what you're doing is you're getting that medicine, you're focusing at an angle so that the medicine gets right to the thyroid. So you'll get medicine to the neck anyway, to your body. But if you do sun gazing and look up, it's even more activation for the thyroid, which I think raises the metabolism. Actually, one more point. I'm going to geek out a little bit.
Just to tap on that to make it easier. I mean, if you was grounding as in laying flat on a nice bed of earth, you're naturally obviously going to hit the thyroid or the particular areas as well. So
exactly.
you'll be doing yourself a favour while grinding and utilising some of the sun. So
it does make a difference. The angle, I mean, sun's amazing. It will just hit all kinds of angles to your body. But if you do, like you said, like at an angle lying down, that's why lying down on the beach works. If you kind of tilt your head, and that's why sun gazing works. You're doing it at an angle. One more thing I do want to add with metabolism.
Yep.
A great way to lose weight. This is confirmed by science. This is not hokey dokey stuff. They found in recent studies that the blue spectrum of visible light from the sun on contact with the skin, which is why nudism and exposing as much as possible is important. The blue hits the skin and it actually removes the subcutaneous fat, the white adipose tissue, the very fat that we don't want in our body. So what we're saying here is the sun makes you lose weight when you expose your skin to it. So if you've got a fat belly, expose your gut, for example, and it literally pushes those fat cells underneath the skin into the bloodstream, ready for elimination. So sunlight is a great tool, amongst other things, to lose weight and to be optimal weight. I'm not talking about just losing weight and being super thin. I'm talking about optimal weight.
That's keeping you lean. Yeah, definitely. It makes a lot of sense. They're going to be more water soluble.
Yeah, that's it.
Obviously not as dense. So. Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you want to touch base on a bit of sun, baby? I know you were doing a little bit of that. Sorry, let me touch base on some of the benefits that are on this site here called beautyglimpse.com. So I think most of this you've touched base on already, but it provides plenty of vitamin D. Now, this is an area I know that you haven't touched base on yet because there's so much information on sunlight at the moment. What you have introduced so far, what I've seen is just loads. So you're just getting a taster at the moment. There's probably going to be a part 2, no doubt.
There will.
So plenty of vitamin D, it's saying, which is a natural source of
it's a hormone, right? I believe it's a hormone, not even a vitamin. Right. Although they say vitamin D, but I've heard it's a hormone, which is crazy to think about.
I can't back that up. Boosts your immune system, removes toxic waste, as you're saying. Maintains hormonal balance. It's quite interesting, isn't it? But it does make a lot of sense when you get into the sun. You shift your mood. It helps the endocrine system in a variety of ways. Improves your blood circulation, alleviates high blood pressure, lowers high cholesterol, keeps the heart healthy, makes you stronger, combats calcium deficiency. And it's loads. I'm even seeing things on insulin resistance and Alzheimer's disease, heart disease. You touched base a little bit on sun gazing. Sorry, sun gazing. I said sun gazing with the eyes. Can you touch base on that a little bit? I need to be a bit cheeky. Just jump in for 1 minute, please. Continue sun gazing.
Cool, guys. Yeah. Okay, so sun gazing is the art of staring directly at the sun. Whether that be an early morning sun, whether that be a midday sun, whether that be an evening sun. The protocols of sun gazing suggest that you need to do it in the early morning or the evening time. But I found benefits personally. You don't have to do this. I found benefits doing the midday sun too. I found more benefits doing the midday sun because it's stronger. My bias I can give you, the way I look at it, is the midday sun gives you more profound results for a shorter space of time. So I look at it as a hack to look at the midday sun. One thing I've certainly noticed with the sun gazing is it makes you deep breathe in an instant. So you're straight away, as soon as you look at the sun, there's the deep breathing. and it slows the breath down. And I believe that's nitric oxide from the eyes, because you're looking directly at the sun, getting into the bloodstream at the back, blood vessels at the back of the eyes. And that's what I believe. I'm not sure on that because there's not enough science to suggest what I'm saying is true, but it's very powerful and profound, and it just makes you feel really good. You know it, even about the mechanisms, as soon as you look at the sun, it really does light up something. There's something very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued, and on a scientific basis, I need to get a little bit more clued up. It's a bit funny when it comes to words, but just pinpointing particular areas, knowing obviously the head has got 4 of our senses already, like the eyes, it's clearly got to be something amazing, especially if you're retrieving energy from one of your primary essences from above. It's got to do something quite powerful, and grounding's very much sort of, I wouldn't say the opposite way, but you're getting it from down up. So brilliant. Okay. Just
a quick one on that as well. Like, think about the eyes. There's a reason, I believe, that the eyes are the softest filament, and they're so well protected, because everything else, the skin's porous, right? But the eyes are not. I think that's because the essential key factor of the light wanting to penetrate deeper into the body, and that the way the light penetrates the deepest is through the lightest, most sacred area. Yeah. So it can really penetrate deep into this area, right? So, yeah.
I tell you, when I first heard of sun gazing, I'm one to try. I wouldn't say extreme, but I'm open, and I know that was one of the things I was very much open up for. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And one of the first thoughts that came across in my head was, okay, if I sun gaze, naturally the heat and the energy and the benefits that I never knew of at the time, really, that are in the rays of the sun. I'd say the moon as well, but specifically the sun. We're talking about. Actually, sun gazing, that must really do some what do you want to call it? Just great benefits, really. Just cleaning the eyeball, the iris. Moving the eyes around, allowing the sun to just really penetrate.
Yeah.
Through the eyelids around, because they're just constantly collecting dirt and just whatever else, and it just makes a lot of sense. It allows it to, I need science on this a little bit more. So this is definitely
we do have benefits of science at the moment. I mean, I'll give you one information. You might already know this. There was a guy that did sun gazing regularly for a couple of years, 10 years or something. He died at 67, unfortunately, quite young. And they took a measurement of his pineal gland. I'm sure you've heard this information. And they opened it up, an autopsy, and his pineal gland was not the normal size that people are used to, when they die. It was like 3 times the size, his pineal gland, because he'd been a regular sun gaze, which implies that, and I think this is correct, that you like this information, sun gazing, I believe, is one of the fastest ways to decalcify the pineal gland and also to grow it, because I think that our pineal gland was bigger in previous generations. Now we've lost its size because we don't sun gaze enough, and we can get it back on fluoride and all the things we're drinking, tap water. And the way to get it back to decalcification and to get it bigger is to sun gaze. It's the fastest way, I think. So,
yeah. Very powerful information. It does make a lot of sense, to be honest. I mean, again, just need to back it up with some science. But for me, very open to that information. So I shared some information this is on another site called europapmc.org, and it was just sharing a little bit of information on the human, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, fovea after sun gazing. So there was I was going to say a test, which isn't a test, but if I read it, hopefully you'll get a grasp of where I'm going with this. But 3 patients who had malignant melanomas of the uvea and normal foveas agreed to look at the sun for 1 hour before inoculation of the eyes. 2 of the patients sun gazed with an undilated pupil, and 24 hours later recovered their pre-exposure visual acuity with no detectable scotoma. 1 of the patients looked at the sun with a partially dilated pupil, and 24 hours later his visual acuity dropped from 20/20 to 20/25. I've never heard of that. After sun gazing, all 3 eyes exhibited a prolonged recovery time for the photo stress test. Fluorescein angiography in 2 patients showed that there was leakage of dye in the fovea. Fluorescein angiography done 2 days earlier had revealed no abnormalities. The foveas of all patients were studied by light and electron microscopy. 2 patients showed sloping of necrotic RPE into the subretinal space at the fovea, degenerative changes and loss of melanin granules, which is really important, I believe, that were observed in the RPE and the fovea of the 3rd patient. This study showed that in spite of the minimal subjective visual impairment, leakage of fluorescein from the choroidal vasculature and histologic changes in the fovea could be demonstrated after exposure to the sunlight. That sounds all a little bit scientific, but
the moral of the story you're trying to get at is the eyes improved radically from sun gazing, like the eyesight. Yes,
the things that ping there was less than a day. They said 24 hours. 24 hours,
right.
like. And bearing in mind that when they say 24 hours, obviously they've slept and they've done whatever else they had, sat there for 24 hours. So it's less than 24 hours.
Yeah,
you know, that's quite
crazy.
An incredible part.
That is. It's encouraging for us as well. So
yeah. And the idea of the melanin granules.
I didn't understand that bit. What does that mean? The melanin granules going down? Going down?
I believe they were being broken down completely from.
Is it bad to have melanin down? I thought melanin was a good thing. Skin pigment.
Let me say that. Let me just double check. Well, either way, while that's going on anyway, continue with the sun gazing.
Yeah. Another benefit that I found from sun gazing, it's one of the most. This is decalcification of pineal gland. I believe it's probably right up there as the most powerful. Another one, the imbalance between the brain hemispheres, which we all have to a certain degree, some more than others due to damage by the system. We're all damaged in this area. There's no balance there, the left and the right brain. Now, as soon as I do sun gazing, I'm made aware of the imbalance in my brain hemispheres because it's fixing it. It's making me aware of the process. So I believe that it has enormous impacts on the brain. It goes through to the eyes. The eyes are an extension of your brain anyway. So the light medicine goes through the eyes into the brain and heals on a most profound level. I think sunlight does it generally, but I think sun gazing takes the healing of your brain to like another level, and your brain feels like bliss, balanced. You're balanced. You become a balanced human being. And these imbalances that society causes us and diseases cause us just, dissipate. They really do.
Right. So, yeah, you are right. Obviously, the melanin is to do with skin. Mm-hmm. So just reading that passage again, the foveas of all patients were studied by light and electron microscopy. 2 patients sloping. I need to read that word. Look at the word. Necrotic RPE in the subretinal space at the fovea. Degenerative changes and loss of melanin granules were observed in the RPE in the fovea of the 3rd patient. So yes, you can lose melanin, but whether that patient was deficient in particular areas or we're not 100% sure, but the other 2, they got quite a lot of benefits overall. So, okay.
Try talking about the moods, what it does to the mood. There's little mechanisms of science.
Yeah, we can jump over that now.
Okay, so we talked about the nitric oxide dilation of the blood vessel. So it's automatically, sunlight is a deep breathing session, even if it's not even nudism. If it's nudism, it's even more of a deep breathing session. If it's sun gazing, it's extreme deep breathing. So outside of that, we've talked about, you've got beta endorphins. Everybody knows what beta endorphins are. We do them when we exercise. We also produce them with sunlight. They're on our skin. So when the sunlight hits the skin, it gets into the bloodstream, you get a nice high, beta endorphins levels go up. Another one, neurotransmitter, serotonin, also on the skin, out everywhere on the skin. So as soon as your light hits the skin, your serotonin levels go up. You want good serotonin. Another one, dopamine, right? That hormone, there's dopamine receptors on your skin too. So when you hit the sunlight, you get more dopamine as well. So
about pinoline.
You told me about this.
Yeah,
I need to do more.
That was something that I pondered on as well, but that's to do with
I need to do more research. That's to do with
the pineal gland.
Pineal gland.
Yeah.
I need to do more research on it. I wouldn't be surprised if it releases more DMT. Another thing, with the serotonin going up because of the sunlight, serotonin gets converted into melatonin at night. So they've done studies and shown that getting sunlight in the daytime improves your melatonin levels at nighttime. Well, that could be because of the serotonin. The serotonin's going up, so therefore the conversion to melatonin can happen. And melatonin, as we know, is really important. It's not just a sleep hormone. It's,
I'd like to see that scientifically,
Sure. Yeah, no, there is actually experiments.
They've done experiments that, like we've seen with the hemoglobin and chlorophyll. The the design. I'd like to see how that works. So it's
Oh,
only
yeah.
melatonin
So,
together.
Yeah,
so
that'd be
we'll have to
interesting.
look that one up, actually.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Sorry. So I know you haven't touched base on vitamin D and sunlight too much, but there's a little bit here on cancer and specific health benefits. So if I just read a few things out, they might spark you to have a little conversation. So, vitamin D deficiency is a worldwide health problem. The major source of vitamin D for most humans is sensible sun exposure. Sensible sun exposure.
Sensible.
Which means loads of bloody sun.
It means in cloud cover UK, you can get like loads. No worries. In tropics,
basically
maybe.
Getting out there and enjoying some sunlight. Getting out the four walls, being outside, sharing a relationship with the sun.
Yeah.
You don't have to burn your ass. You just need the rays to appreciate the rays, the skin, and take effect. Factors that influence cutaneous vitamin D production include sunscreen use,
That's interesting. Yeah.
skin pigmentation, time of day, season of the year, latitude, and aging. Is there anything you want to touch on there before I carry on?
The reason why I don't focus on vitamin D too much is I believe that science has confirmed that we don't make a lot of it in the UK, and only between maybe now and October. So there's the winter months they don't make it, and also even in the summer months it's only a specific time, like I believe midday. So that's why I don't push it too much. However, if you want to go down that road, and I will certainly too, rest assured your vitamin D level. Vitamin D is huge. I think it's absolutely massive. I think every cell contains vitamin D, by the way. That's how important it is. They've got vitamin D receptors in every single cell of your body. This is why vitamin D cures cancer. It cures all diseases. Another thing, the body's so clever that even though I've just said that we don't produce a lot of it in places like the UK and only specific times of day, what the body does as a kind of fallback is it holds onto it. So your body can hold onto it for years at a time, months and months. So at the winter time, when you've not got a lot of vitamin D, it doesn't really matter because your body collects it and collates it in the system in the summertime, and it releases it in the winter time. So that it's a huge area of focus. It's just not something I've gone down. It's magic, vitamin D, and it's also testable. You can test this. So it'd be interesting to know, actually, our vitamin D levels,
That's something I need to do overall. I know some people have done full body checks. And, maybe some people leave some posts on this information, how to acquire these tests through your doctors, or whether there's tests we can actually buy and do ourselves. That'd be really cool to know. But moving on from that, they've got a few numbers and bits and pieces here, but I can't really touch base too tough. As in saying, I don't really know the information very well, but a total of 100 IU of vitamin D. Is that
rings a bell, right?
So raises blood levels.
Yeah.
Raises the blood level of 25 brackets OH. So I'm sorry, apologies, I'm not sure what that means. D by 1 ng/ml. Thus, children and adults who do not receive adequate vitamin D from sun exposure need at least 1,000 IU/D vitamin D. Lack of sun exposure and vitamin D deficiency has been linked to many serious chronic diseases, including autoimmune diseases, infectious diseases, cardiovascular diseases, and deadly cancers. It is estimated that there is a 30 to 50% reduction in risk for developing colorectal, breast, and prostate cancer by either increasing vitamin D intake to at least 1,000 IU/D vitamin D. And it is made in many different tissues, as you described,
every single cell of the body,
so including the colon, prostate, and breast. It is believed that the local production of 1.25 OH/D may be responsible for the anti-cancer benefit of vitamin D. So, I can go on a little bit more there. So there's massive benefits.
Just to add quickly what I said to you earlier, that vitamin C supplements are good, but if you spend half an hour at prime time getting your vitamin D, it's way more. You're getting way more vitamin D than the study. So it's suboptimal is how I look at it. You get way more from 10, 20 minutes of pure sun on your skin, on your eyes, your face, nudism, chest at least. It's way more optimal to get vitamin D from this than from a supplement. Also, supplements aren't going to store the vitamin D, I don't feel, whereas the sun does. Your body does when you get it from the sun. So don't look to foods like milk or eggs, or what they say, fish as well. They say it's got vitamin D. So they'll say these. That's wrong focus for vitamin D.
Totally, because it's an application. You're having to introduce rather than
It's something external when this is...
Allow it to take the benefits, enjoy it. It's your primary currency.
Yeah.
Allow it, right? Trying to...
It's your life. It is your life, bro. It gives us life.
So there was a gentleman actually called, his surname Under Hoffman, who was doing some research on sun exposure and latitude with cancer mortality.
Yeah, I was going to touch base.
1915.
I was going to say that. And
so,
do you
want to jump up?
No, you say it.
Okay. He reported mortality from cancer in cities at various latitudes and observed a gradient decline in the death rate. Peller and Stevenson recognized that people who were exposed to enough sunlight to induce non-lethal, non-melanoma skin cancers had a decreased incidence of more malignant tumors. They observed that the rate of skin cancer in US Navy personnel was 8 times higher, whereas the total number of deaths from other cancers was reduced by 60% in comparison with the civilian population. This was by Apperley, who reported that people who live at higher latitudes, in the United States, including New Hampshire, Vermont, and Massachusetts, were most likely to die of cancer than adults who live in southern states such as Alabama and Georgia.
Interesting. I was going to... No,
latitude.
You've nailed it. Well, that's the power of the sun. The sun is strongest at the tropics in the equator. And the reason why is because at further latitudes like the UK, unfortunately, that's not an excuse for us not to get sunlight, by the way, it's still powerful. But we are more susceptible, so we need more sun because the sun is less stronger. There's less vitamin D being produced in that sun. There's a lot of problems that come with the Finland has like a couple of hours every day, and that's it. Sun. It goes. Most of their days spent in winter, and they get depression. And the sun. It's way more than just a physical health. It's a mental health thing. So I touch base with the brain. It's you will suffer if there is such a thing as sad. Light therapy boxes now. People getting depressed because there's not enough light. As soon as it hits the eyes, it lights you up. As soon as you get naked, it lights you up even more. We need it. We actually need this medicine. And like you said, that people get more diseases in that the further away from the sun latitude-wise, the more diseases because there's less sun. And people are healthier because there's more sun equator, more powerful sun penetrating. So it's huge. It's a good dot connector.
Yeah, I spoke a little bit about the metabolism. Well, I just mentioned it, should I say? And there's sources here talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it says sources and metabolism of vitamin D. Not specifically talking about that, but obviously it's talking about the sun in general. So the major source of vitamin D for most humans is exposure to sunlight. When the ultraviolet D portion of sunlight enters the skin, 7-dehydrocholesterol in the plasma membrane of both keratinocytes and fibroblasts is converted to pre-vitamin D3. Pre-vitamin D3 rapidly converts within the plasma membrane by a membrane-dependent process to vitamin D3. Which is then ejected into the extracellular space. I can go on a little bit more there, but this is... Vitamin D3 from the skin is bound to the vitamin binding protein, whereas vitamin D2 and vitamin D3 from diet, like all that food, are bound to vitamin D binding protein and lipoproteins. Both forms are hydroxylated in the liver to 25 hydroxyvitamin D. And then we got loads of letters there. And let's go on to, it is inactive and requires hydroxylation in the kidney on carbon 1 to form 1.25. I know these words are going out the window, so apologies. The hydroxyvitamin D it acts in an endocrine manner to regulate calcium metabolism by enhancing intestinal calcium absorption and mobilizing calcium from
just a quick one. You're talking about calcium there. That could be why vitamin D is rickets. Remember, we got the connection between vitamin D, lack of vitamin D, and rickets. You just said something about vitamin D lighting up the calcium in the bones.
Some of the food there as well. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah. So there are a few dietary sources of vitamin D. You touched base on a few of them, which is oily fish, salmon, such as salmon, mackerel, sardine, some foods, including milk, orange juice, bread, cereals, and yogurts fortified with vitamin D, margarine, cereals. I mean, I'm not saying I don't touch any of that stuff. It's
Interesting foods. Fruits don't seem to come up on that one.
It'd be really interesting to know
We don't have any.
if we could have a portion size of how much in food quantity that is.
I think it's very little. No, I know I've seen it. It's very little. That you eat a bit of lot of milk and eat this fish, and it's the portions of the sunlight you get are very little vitamin D IU's measurements compared to even 20-30 minutes of sunlight. It's not a comparison. It's like 1/10. So that there's no competition. Foods is like a 5% source and wrong focus for vitamin D. It's for other things fine, not for vitamin D.
Okay, let's move on a little bit. Let's see what we can get out of you on sunlight and the cardiovascular benefits. I'm not sure if you touched base enough on that.
Sure.
Did you?
Can I roll with the sunlight spectrum? I'd love to do that. Okay, so this is geek knowledge, but it's good knowledge. So sunlight, we've got UVC, UVB, UVA. These are all invisible to the human eye. The slowest is the UVC, gets stopped by the sun. Ozone doesn't penetrate at all. You touch base with UVB, which produces vitamin D. That's the next level up. UV does happen. It's very small amounts of UVB penetrate to the skin and the eyes. UVA also not very much. These invisible lights are all penetrating. Beyond the UVA, a bit higher up, is the visible light spectrum. So now we've got the colors of the rainbow. Prism light. A light contains red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, all the colors.
You're singing a song.
I was about to break into a song there. And those all light up the chakras. Now, beyond that, here's something I really want to talk about, which is very interesting. Something called red light therapy, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. You've probably heard of too. Red light therapy involves the highest level of red light, which is the visible light, which is the top end, but also invisible, which is near infrared, middle infrared, far infrared. There's a lot of science coming out that one of the most beneficial aspects of sunlight is actually this invisible near infrared, mid infrared, far infrared. And let me tell you why. Visible light and UVB can only penetrate, because it's a very slow wavelength. UVB can only penetrate the skin. UVA as well can only penetrate the skin. It doesn't go very far into the dermis. Now, visible light goes a little deeper. So purple indigo, not very deep, but red light on the visible light spectrum does go deeper, up to 2 inches, I believe, or 1.5 inches. Now, near infrared, which you can't see, and those infrared lights, the reason why they work is because they penetrate deeper than the skin layers. So what they're doing is they're hitting the bloodstream, they're hitting the organs of the body, they're getting right in, the medicine's getting right in there. And they can go so deep that they light up the cells of the body. They light up the mitochondria, which I believe, and we talked about this before, is the powerhouse of the cell. It's the place where the magic happens. As soon as infrared and near-infrared light hits the cytochrome C oxidase, which is a way of saying a light receptor. Every cell inside our body has a mitochondria has light receptors, and we need sunlight from those light receptors. As soon as sunlight infrared hits the light receptor, it converts it into oxygen, and therefore now we've got more energy. And that's why people say that red light therapy seems to give them lots of energy, because what it's doing is it's hitting the photoreceptor, and it's lighting up your mitochondria, and your mitochondria is the fuel powerhouse for everything. And by the way, you've got trillions of cells in your body, and each trillion of cells got 3 to 10,000 mitochondria. So it's so important to get the medicine into the mitochondria directly.
We'll have to talk on the mitochondria alone.
Huge. That's a huge subject.
I'm kind of researching that a little bit by bit. It's a lot of information to get into.
I
see you was reading a particular book. Do you want to chuck that in there?
Yeah, sure. So where I'm getting this information from, guys, is this book. I'm also writing a book on sunlight, which you definitely should check out. It's going to come out in the next couple of months. But a lot of this good information is on Red Light Therapy by Ari Whitman. And he says the same thing. Now, the science, we're not exactly sure of why the mitochondria is getting lit up with sunlight. His mechanism is my favorite because actually it ties in with what I just told you. Yeah, and I'll repeat, exactly his mechanism. He believes the number one reason why near-infrared is lighting up the mitochondria is because he says that cytochrome C oxidase is a light receptor. So as soon as the light hits the light receptor, it pushes out nitric oxide, which we talked about. Now, I'm trying not to confuse people here. So I'm trying not to confuse you. Nitric oxide gets pushed from the skin into the bloodstream, right? But also there's nitric oxide in every cell of the body, right? So every cell of your body has nitric oxide in it. But every cell of your body doesn't need the nitric oxide. It shouldn't be. The nitric oxide should be in the bloodstream, right? So when the light hits the photoreceptor, cytochrome C oxidase, according to him, what happens is it pushes out nitric oxide in the cells, and then your body dumps more nitric oxide into the bloodstream, which makes me think that's correct, because then you deep breathe even more. So basically, your sunlight is a dumping of infrared light dumps a huge amount of nitric oxide into the bloodstream, plus lights up your mitochondria to a level that you can't imagine. But,
So,
you know.
Sorry about that. So timing is something that's popping into my head. So you're talking of particular lights, particular particular waves. So timing must be quite crucial.
Huge.
So obviously optimal level when the sun's out, which is what, midday, 12 to 2, something like that. 12 to 2.
Yep.
And then obviously, so that would be quite interesting to get some more information on that as well.
I know a little bit about that. Yeah. So in the mornings, you have more infrared, which is the magic medicine. It's all magic medicine, but in the mornings and the evenings, that could be why sun gazing works, by the way, even more powerful at times, some say. But there's less visible light spectrum of blue spectrum in the mornings and evenings. There's less visible color spectrums. That's lower, but there's more infrared. Now at midday, there's more UVA, UVB, which tans your skin and causes heat. And there's more visible light, and there's less in the midday, there's less infrared. But it's key. I could geek out of how many different things, what different things they're doing. Like,
if you can touch base with just a little bit, and then
sure.
we'll take it from there. If they want to get any information, then they know you've got your website and YouTube and whatnot, so they can always get hold of you.
Sure, man. Yeah. So the morning one's really important, they say, because it protects the skin from getting sun damage. Because in the midday sun, we've got high UVB. Now, UVA is invisible, can cause sun damage. So what you want to do, ideally, if you're into light a lot, is to get in the mornings to expose your eyes and skin to the sun, because that's got less UVA, UVB, but it's got more of red light therapy, and red light therapy protects your skin. When you get red light therapy in the morning, it protects you for the midday sun, so it stops sun damage, which is really important.
Yeah, that makes
it makes sense in terms of human and in terms of evolution, protecting us. So it does different things in the mornings and nights.
And also, nature's popping into my head now. I'm still transitioning, and got a couple of amazing live beings around us, like Brian Justin, who's big into timing. He's massive into timing. So anyone wants to know about timing, I would definitely direct you towards Brian Justice. He knows his stuff on that. Will Lebanon's there as well. They're in tandem. They're doing quite a lot of work. So nature's a huge giveaway. And what I mean by this is that, you know, when you're hearing the birds chirp early in the morning and things are starting to become active, moving, you know, that I was going to say acidosis. I don't want people to think negatively. Kinetic movement is moving. That's kind of when we should be kickstarting, right? Like, I feel like a lot of us are very much. You touch base there.
It's quite interesting. How about this theory?
Roll with the nature.
This makes sense.
Like, it kind of gives you an understanding of where, without going too deep, you can't really go off track too much. That's what I'm trying to get at. If you're rolling with nature as much as possible. So, and
then getting sun in the morning is rolling with nature. And maybe the midday sun also kickstarts metabolism in a perfect way. So that, you know, when the sun is, I believe when the sun is highest in the sky, Ayurveda says this, that's the best time to eat your food, by the way, your biggest meal, because your metabolism is firing. Also, that links in, just thinking about this off the top of my head now, I know for a fact the visible light spectrum of light is most powerful to the midday sun. The visible light spectrum contains blue light. Blue light lights up the thyroid, yellow light lights up the digestive system. So in my geeky way of, hopefully you followed what I said, it makes sense that your metabolism, the sun lights up your metabolism in the morning, preps your metabolism, so the midday sun, your metabolism from the sun, for getting sunlight in the skin, eyes, is very powerful, and it really is best, I think, to eat your biggest meal, if you can, in the midday-ish.
Right. So, see if we can roll with a little bit of history on sun gazing as well. So it's a little piece here on wikipedia.org, so I'll just try and get some snippets out, and if you want to jump in at any point,
sure,
please do. So sun gazing is the act of looking directly into the sun. It is sometimes done as part of a spiritual or religious practice. Now, that's what I'm very interested in. I'm not sure I understand too much of any of that, but I'd love to know a little bit more. I can't help thinking of
makes sense though, doesn't
Buddhism, yoga sort of practices. But,
Indians,
the human eye is very sensitive, and prolonged exposure to direct sunlight can lead to solar retinopathy, pterygium cataracts, and often blindness.
trying to give you the rubbish there.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I've done it for a long time and haven't gone blind. So.
It must be a very funky sun that they're
it is Wikipedia. It's Wikipedia we're quoting from, so bear in mind.
Yeah, be open-minded. Studies have shown that even when viewing a solar eclipse, the eye can still be exposed to harmful levels of ultraviolet radiation. Okay. Movements.
Actually, can I chime in quickly?
Yeah, please.
There is such a thing, I believe. I've been listening to people's information provided. There is such a thing as taking sun gazing slowly if you're unhealthy. If you're unhealthy, sun gazing will cause, I don't know, you don't believe this, but sun gazing, Monica Schutt did it. She was unhealthy and a bad diet at the very beginning. Sun gazing will expose weaknesses and will damage you because it produces free radicals, sun gazing, right? And if you haven't got enough antioxidants in your system and your eyes, you will have a bad reaction. Yep.
That makes sense.
It can be dangerous. Another thing is, you're in nature's designed it so you have a lot of antioxidants in your eyes for a reason, because of sun gazing. This is what I believe. It's a fact that there's more antioxidants in your eyes than any other place.
Is that is that for all external, internal areas on the body? So I'm talking like the mouth, the ears, the nose, like the
antioxidants?
Places with holes.
Free radicals come in.
Like, because they're exposed, because they're open.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Like, do they need a little bit more?
I don't know.
I think they might need a bit more protection of sorts.
They might do, but I think nature's designed it so the eyes receive the most light, so it gets the abundance of antioxidants to protect it, right? But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, the ears definitely as well, I think would have, and the mouth, because you open it up, so that makes sense to me. But you just got to be careful. If you're unhealthy with sun gazing, don't do too much and don't do the midday. Go for the mornings and evenings, and there is such thing as building up slowly. If you're healthy though, no, you can go for it. Go straight for it.
Well, it's been quoted as an alternative therapy, which I don't call it alternative therapy anymore. I was corrected by Mr. Bobby Toombs on that one through an earlier talk, and it is very much more an ancient therapy, should we call it that? So it's very well known. So I've got a little bit more history here. It says this is quite early stuff, so I'll have to look a little bit deeper when I get the chance. The year 1962, Mother Mira of Pondicherry Ashram in India suggested to HRM, Hira Ratan Manik, that it was time to bring sun gazing into the modern world. This is in 1962. I'm very intrigued to know what they were doing before that. HRM then read widely and deeply for 30 long years on the sun gazing practices of ancient times, which were once common all over the world, with almost all cultures and religions. Over a 3-year period of continual and intense experimentation on himself, he successfully established a safe sun gazing practice, which he is now preaching and teaching to humanity in dozens of countries worldwide. The method is now accepted as a popular health practice known as the phenomenon of HRM sun gazing. So I'm not 100% sure what's different.
That one basically is just you don't do it with his protocol. You don't do a midday sun. We've developed that. It's a good protocol. He says go start slowly. I kind of agree because he's assuming that a lot of people are unhealthy, but we in the health community don't need to start slowly. We can go straight to midday sun. So he'll say 10 seconds in the morning, 10 seconds in the evening.
I've heard of that.
And then build slowly.
Yeah, 5 seconds. I kind of went against the grain and actually went like 4 seconds.
As we do, because we're extreme. We're extreme with what we do. So,
but yeah, definitely take precautions on that. Yeah, okay. Well, he said, what else is here? I'd like to see if I can find a little bit more history going further back, to be honest on it. But
you said something about it was spiritual practice. So fasting's always been a spiritual practice. So it makes sense to me that sun gazing and fasting were combined as a spiritual practice. Like
absolutely.
To bring out the God that they believed in, because it makes you feel better. Kind of makes sense to me. There's
something the gentleman said here, saying we have a supercomputer in our bodies given to us by the nature, which is our brain. HRM calls it the brainuter.
Okay.
The brain is more powerful than the most advanced supercomputer. Each and every human being is gifted with innumerable talent and infinite inherent powers by nature. Individuals should never underestimate themselves. Everyone is gifted. If we make use of these powers, we can take ourselves to great levels. if we can activate the human brain and awaken these infinite powers inherent in ourselves, then we can raise ourselves to a higher level. I've heard a lot about this. We can achieve any result we want. Sun energy is the source that powers the brain, which can enter and leave the human body or the brain only through one organ, that is the human eye.
Yep.
So
you're saying it can only leave through the human eye, enter the human eye.
It says which can enter and leave the human body or the brain only through one organ, that is the human eye.
Well, I'm going to disagree with him, because the skin, to me, science has come a long way since then. That's why nudism works. The skin also it's a solar panel. Trust me, the sunlight on the skin, it's not just the eyes. The eyes are the most important.
I'd agree with you, and I feel that most probably that the eyes do take probably the biggest effect on it all.
Yeah, 100%.
Coming from and the piercing through, like if you could do a negative on and see what's going on, like with the sun, and see how it's dispersed from our body, that'd be quite interesting. Like, so curling
photography and
something like that. So
just a quick one for you guys. If you can't do nudism, that's fine. The two most important areas of the eyes, in my opinion, to get to the light in, is the eyes and the genitals. So it might be worthwhile investing with some tan-through shorts. You can get them in America. You can get them from a UK company called Kaneki, which I've donned already and shown you. Or now there's plenty styles. Lets a lot of the light in, but you want it on your genitals because it lights up your testosterone, estrogen for women. It's really important. Your sexual sacred chambers, if you want to look at it. Your sexual energy is creative energy. So work through that. Number 1, eyes. Number 2, the genitals. And number 3, just the rest of the body. And also, don't wear hats outside. This is a pet peeve of mine for humanity, because it's one reason why people get diseases. They're wearing hats in the daytime outside, and that's stopping the light penetrating the brain.
That was me most of the time. And the reason why I do that, truthfully, actually, even before I started doing construction, was not allowing anything to get my hair. Just doing my head in.
Doing his head in. He was doing his head in. Yeah.
Literally. It touches base on a little bit of the safety hours you was going on about. So the safe hours are any time within the 1 hour window after sunrise, or any time within the 1 hour window before sunset. It's scientifically proven beyond reasonable doubt that during these times, one is free from UV and IR rays exposure. So,
you see, it's all well and good to go with that, but then the reason why I don't like it is because I've heard it's okay to emit a sun, but not in that. Think about this: you're a busy person, you've got a busy life, and what they're saying is you have to be up and out in the sun at morning and night. You've got a busy life, right? You can't always do that. When the sun's out, take the opportunity. And plus, we live in cloudy weather. When you're in cloudy weather, you just got to make the most of the few times when the clouds part the sky. So you can't be pedantic like this.
We're in a different part of the world where we're not as fortunate. We do get some good weather from time to time, but it's very irregular, to say the least. But you have to, you've got to be mindful, and you've got to have a certain amount, and the certain amount that you do have to take in will not be devastating. It can't be devastating unless you're sunbathing for hours, trying to get a tan, trying to be me. That might take a slightly different effect. But, I would like to, and I've touched base on this gentleman before a little bit, Andreas Moritz.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, well, so there's a little bit of information here.
Yeah, talk about it. It's good information.
But I just need to pop off for a minute because there's something special in the oven. You know what that is.
Yeah.
But if you can just touch base just for a moment on dry fasting and how the obvious effects that you seem to be getting as regards to
maintaining the dry fast with the sun gaze, the combination of the two.
How important is it, and the benefits, and also like some of the flaws, if there are any flaws, like how to approach the sun through dry fasting.
Sure.
Just be 30 seconds.
Yeah. So as I said, when we're doing the dry fasts, what my personal experience is that it makes getting sunlight on the skin, the eyes, as long as possible, and especially sun gazing, makes that process a lot easier. All the reasons that we talked about. The blue light reduces the excess fat. Dry fasting reduces excess fat. You've got red light therapy. It's lighting up your mitochondria. So in effect, any weaknesses and detox symptoms you're going through during a dry fast, which will come to you at some point, can be lessened so you won't feel as much pressure. You will feel more energized, is what I'm trying to say. Because the mitochondria are still going to get their medicine when you're dry fasting. You might have dips because you're not drinking anything or eating anything, but the mitochondria will still light up with the sun. And it's really important for this to happen. Personally, I found, and Z can confirm this, when I broke my fast, I struggled because that day I didn't have any sunlight on my skin.
Yeah, you said that, you mentioned,
Yeah.
it was a massive difference compared to when you actually did have the sun.
Yep.
Bloody doing squats, reading, and
Yep.
he's just charged. And
Huge difference.
Sneaky pants on, just lapping it up.
And it goes deeper. Do you know Cristo Dabascio? I don't know if you know this guy. So he did 8 months of just urine, by the way, not dry fast, just urine and a couple of nuts a week. And he did it. He said it was possible, not just because of urine therapy, but because of the sun. He said the sun was available between March and October, and he went into sun gazing and nudism. Now, he said he couldn't maintain it after October because there was no sun. As soon as the sun went back in. So that was what put the seed in me to think, okay, I need to do dry fasting and sunlight, because he's telling me that the sun has nutrition, which we know by science it does. And I would love to get to the point of doing either urine fast and sun or dry fast and sun for a long period of time.
So yeah, and what a perfect post to find by Andreas Moritz, and perfect to the 5
the 5 elements.
The 5 elements that we were talking about. Sorry, put my word in, but it says here, sun energy is the source that powers the brain. It enters the body through the elements of air, water, fire, and earth. Sunlight enters and leaves the human body most easily and directly through the human eye. So that's very big. That's quite well known. Provided it isn't filtered out by coloured lenses. The eyes are the grand portals through which sunlight enters the body. Sun gazing is an ancient practice that can induce healing of body and mind. The eyes are very complex organs consisting of 5 billion parts, intricately designed and functioning in unity. The primary function of the eye is light-dark perception. Even the most basic, simplest eyes, such as those belonging to unicellular organisms, have no other function but to detect whether the surroundings are light or dark in order to maintain the circadian rhythms.
Yeah, I've been told that. Yeah, interesting stuff.
So, you see, if I can delve in a little bit more about the history if I can. So, give me. Vital organs of the body are dependent on specific colours of the light spectrum.
Yes, good. Yeah, tell us the information there. Love to know. Yeah, sounds interesting.
So, for kidney cells to function properly, for example, they require red light. Heart cells need yellow light, and liver cells require green light. Light deficiencies in any of the organs and systems of the body can lead to disease. Regular sun gazing can help restore balance and efficiency to all cells in the body. Now, I find that absolutely fascinating.
I'll add it on. Think about this. So the sun has all visible spectral light. As soon as it hits this is how I look at it. Might not be true, just my opinion. As soon as the light hits your eyes, it splits in shafts like a prism.
That's why the eyes are important.
Exactly.
That's exactly it, yeah.
And then the small one, the shortest one, purple goes to here, the chakra. The blue goes to here, and he just said the green and goes to the red, and then it's all over here. It's your chakras are all colours. The sun is all colours, and the medicine goes into every portal of your body via the eyes. So I love that information.
Yeah. The pineal gland is one of the most researched glands of the body. Scientists have established that the bright light stimulates the production of serotonin and melatonin in the pineal. You touched base on that. But there are other neurochemicals produced by the pineal gland that have more profound and complex effects apart from the regulation of mood, sleep, reproductive function and body temperature. Scientists at the University of Pennsylvania, including particulars, a leading authority on the pineal gland, observed the sun yogi, which we just spoke of, for 130 days. That sun yogi, was HRM, Hira, Ratan, Manik. For 130 days in 2002, they found that his pineal exhibited growth and reactivation.
We talked about that.
Covers your
I didn't know that. So he's confirmation. His grew.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The average size of the pineal gland is 6 by 6 mil, but in HRM's case, it was 8 by 11.
Wow.
So
it grew.
There we go. That supports your theory quite well.
Very interesting. Just a quick sidebar as well. Most people's organs actually shrink apart from the stomach because people are eating too much food. I mean, the liver, the pancreas, the gallbladder actually shrink with age. And I believe, maybe science will confirm this, just thinking through my feet now, not only does the pineal grow, with good health and sun gazing, I think all the organs grow. Controversial that, but you'll see that in the future. You'll see that they all grow. They all go back to optimal size. Yeah, when you get older, when you do sun gazing.
Very interesting this as well, but this will touch base a little bit more on our last show, which will be on slightly more theoretical side. Well, scientists refer to the pineal gland as the atrophied third eye. Indeed, it, along with the pituitary, is the third eye chakra or energy center, better referred to as dormant rather than atrophied. According to Max Heindel's Rosicrucian writings, in the distant past, man was in touch with the inner world through an activated pineal pituitary gland. I can resonate with that. Yeah. Considered the most powerful and highest source of ethereal energy available to humans, the third eye has always been important in initiating psychic powers, clairvoyance, seeing auras, etc. So, yeah, this is...
Doesn't that resonate?
This is really making a lot of sense.
Think about this, like telepathy, all the things we used to do were possible maybe because we had a bigger pineal gland, and now because of we're born in poisonous environments, our pineals automatically get smaller. So now we can improve our telekinesis and our psychic abilities with sun gazing because it increases the size of pineal. There's that obvious connection. Like that makes so much sense to me. I'm learning here too. Didn't know this information, so it's very interesting.
I'll just read a bit more. This is quite interesting. So to activate the third eye and perceive higher dimensions, the pineal and the pituitary must vibrate in unison, which is achieved through meditation or sun gazing. So we'll talk about that another time. When a correct relationship is established between the personality operating through the pituitary and the soul operating through the pineal, a magnetic field is created. The pineal can generate its own magnetic field because it contains magnetite. Now, that I've been looking into magnetite. I had a question ages ago, which I'm a type of individual, if anyone looks on my laptop or my phone especially, there's probably about 70 plus 80 pages that, you know, there's like something will pop in my head, like, and I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Magnetite was one of them, and I know magnetite is one of the main crystals that is in the brain.
In the pineal, in the brain generally. Okay.
Magnetite is big. So I was thinking, just off the top of my head, I was thinking, okay, so what would happen if we could raise the vibration or link ourselves, you know, create a fusion, which is incorrect, allow that magnetite to resonate more.
Yes.
Would it benefit us or would it hinder us? I'm not 100% sure. So it's something that I'm looking into more. And I can't help but think that actually raising the magnetic,
the electromagnetic energy of the body with sunlight, example,
and increasing the magnetite.
Yeah, would increase the magnetite. Yeah.
Spark something a little bit more. I could be wrong.
I think you're onto something with magnetite, by the way. I think there's a key element in the brain power and you know, enhancing our vibration.
So this field can interact with the Earth's. There we go. This field can interact with the Earth's magnetic field. Thank you. I needed this post. The solar wind at dawn, charging the Earth's magnetic field, stimulates the pineal. This is why many spiritual teachers claim that the period between 4 and 6 a.m. is the best time to meditate. And why? And I know that through a very good teacher, Sivan Paima, and why sunrise is the best time to sun gaze. At these times, the pineal stimulates the pituitary to secrete human growth hormone.
Oh, wow. That's tying in
about, right?
How weird is this conversation?
This is quite an interesting one. So this, sorry, I didn't introduce this website. I do now. It's NRChi. So that's ENER-CHI.com.
Is that Mauritz's? Andrew Mauritz's?
I'm not sure if it's dedicated to him or someone's using his works on there, but that's NRChi.com. That is why sun gazers often experience rapid nail and hair growth, restoration of hair color, and general rejuvenation. I didn't know that.
So again, it increases the skin.
That is why sun gazers often experience rapid nail and hair growth, restoration of hair color, and general rejuvenation. Cleopatra used to place a magnet on her forehead to stimulate the pituitary to restore her youth and good looks. She did not know she already had a magnet in her head. I love this. Yeah, this is it's funny how things just sort of fall in place when the time's right.
Yeah.
The technique of sun gazing demands no more than time and attention. It's very simple. one should gaze at the sun only in the morning or evening hours.
Yep.
But about 1 hour or less after sunrise or before sunset. Look at the rising or setting sun once a day. At the first day, look at the sun in a relaxed manner for a maximum of 10 seconds. All depending on how fit you are and how healthy you think you are. I'd probably start with 20 seconds and then work your way up.
Remember quickly that your eyes have mechanisms, so don't think you're going to really blind yourself, because your eyes do two things. They either blink a lot, you experience this too, or they water. So you really can't go blind. You might have a white spot if you take it too extreme, but it's unlikely.
It says here after 10 consecutive days of sun gazing, a certain amount of time, which I've said between 10 to 20 and 100 seconds, depending, you will be looking at the sun after 10 consecutive days of sun gazing, you will be looking at the sun for about 100 seconds. The eyes can blink or flicker and don't need to be steady to receive the main benefits of sun gazing. You need to increase the duration in the above manner until you reach 3 months.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal.
I think it's like building a muscle, isn't it?
Yeah,
you want to be building your muscle constantly and getting longer. By the way, let's touch base a little bit with, maybe you can Google as well, closed sun gazing. Closed sun gazing. I think, this is my opinion on it, if you point your eyes to the sky, this might be for you guys if you're too scared of doing the actual sun gazing, you can still get a lot of benefits, maybe not as much, but still a lot, from closing your eyes and facing the sun and looking with your eyes closed to the sun. What's your opinion on that, actually? Closed sun gazing versus
Why
open?
would we want to do closed?
Okay. Well, I'm only thinking for the audience that some reason are still a little bit fearful and just don't want to look at that morning or midday or afternoon sun, just as a secondary, because I'll tell you what, for me, closed sun gazing is a lot better than no sun gazing.
Right.
So,
Okay, yeah.
That's what I experienced. I've experienced very profound results still from not as good as open sun gazing, but closed sun gazing I highly recommend as well.
I guess it ties in quite nicely anyway. I mean, if you can introduce open-eyed gaze,
that's the best.
Gazing, great.
You really should. Yeah,
but if you are experiencing sun on a slightly more regular basis, then closed-eyed sun gazing makes no-brainer, really, isn't it? Especially if you're enjoying park life or you're in the garden and you don't, you've had more than enough sun gazing. Yeah, the eyes are there to protect you as well, so they're going to do, it's a win-win, so that makes a lot of sense, and you don't need to deter yourself away too much. So
True.
There's just a little bit more I'll add on here, and then I'll leave it there, to be honest. But at this stage, the sun energy of the sun's rays passing through the human eye will be charging the hypothalamus tract. Yeah?
Makes sense to me, that one.
The pathway behind the retina leading to the human brain. As the brain increasingly receives extra power through this pathway, you will find a drastic reduction of mental tension and worries. With access to this additional source of energy, you are likely to develop a more positive mindset and increased self-confidence. If you suffer from anxieties and depression, you will find these go away. Okay? Sadness and depression are known to increase with reduced or lack of exposure to sun. With fewer worries and fears, your brain may use the saved and additional supplied energy for healing and improvement. That makes a lot of sense. Of mental and physical well-being. One of the most frequently reported benefits of regular sun gazing is improved eyesight, which goes against the grain of what Wikipedia was saying straight away, doesn't it, really?
Good thing it's society. Society teaches us from the day we're born. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows that don't look at the sun because it's dangerous. You'll go blind. It's not true. And it's there for a reason, in my opinion.
So, wow, it's quite a big topic, and I really don't think, I think we just...
Barely 5% of what we know, I think, we've got out.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so,
I'm exaggerating slightly, but it's a lot more that I know that we know. That's like, it's good. No, we got the main stuff. We got a lot of important information for you guys, and we'll do a part 2 as well.
Sure, definitely. I just thought maybe if there are benefits too, because I know we can switch to the statistics on how much of whatever we're getting, depending. Sometimes we don't have a choice depending on where we are in the world. So, for example, if you are getting a lot of sunlight, would you recommend to keep grounding with that as well, or do you think it's okay to get a lot of sunlight without the grounding, or do you feel that maybe if you're getting a lot of sunlight, try and be in an environment where you've got relatively good air, so you're, especially when you're dry fasting as well, you're getting an important amount of just enough water through the air as well to benefit you.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, like we said there about sunlight and grounding. Now, these two go hand in hand. And from a really simplistic way, I'll tell you why. Sunlight does actually generate free radicals, which is okay, because actually what it does, it ups your antioxidant system reflex. So it makes your antioxidants go up. It's a stress to the body, sunlight. A lot of people don't want to hear that. It's a good stress, like exercise and fasting and cold and heat. It's good stress. Now, when we ground, what are we doing? We're shoving the body with antioxidants.
True.
So we're creating free radicals from the sunlight. But another great way, apart from the body's way of doing it, is to use an external source called the ground. So you're mitigating the damage if you're worried about the sun damage, the aging effects. By the way, it doesn't age you if you look after your health. But if you're worried about stuff, it's a great combination anyway to do grounding, because you feel good. You're getting the medicine, the electrons into your earth, and then you're getting the antioxidants into your body. And you're also, from the sunlight, generating as free radicals, unfortunately, and they're just getting completely nullified and void. So a great combination to do. You're going to get rejuvenation effects way more than if you just did sunlight without grounding. So yes, if you could ever do sun gazing with grounding, if you've done that, bro, sun gazing grounding is bliss, isn't it?
Nice. It is nice, yeah, definitely. I think they go hand in hand personally.
They do. They should be. You should consider that. Yep.
I mean, we've all been on holiday, I'm sure, where we've been around the pool, and again, not been on the grass, perhaps, been on a patio of sorts, and you want to a sunbed. That's all good. It works, but I can't help but feel that actually I feel more balanced. I feel more. There's a
synergy.
It's
almost
just working, in together. You know what I mean? In a far better way. Me being away from land with the sun is not as great with me being on land with the sun. And also, I would say to complement, definitely if you're near water, as in beach, sea, ocean, lake, something, that
combines the 5 elements. You've got the pure air from the beach or the mountains. You've got the grounding. You've got the sun, fire. And you've got the water. You've got the urine therapy, age urine, and then you've got all the elements in one. So that's why grounding naked at the beach while sun gazing or sunlight on your skin, and it's just miracle magic medicine.
So that being said, I mean, we'll have to do a part 2, my friend, because there's so much information now. I know we haven't touched base on, but I really do sincerely hope we got enough information out there for you guys for you to look into.
Harry Whitman buys book Red Light Therapy. I'm doing a book as well on sunlight. It's going to be very big.
Just took the words out of my mouth. Also, just to chuck it out there, but you do have a book out as well. So if anyone who's new that has just come through to maybe my page, Need to Know across the show, or friended recently, or through Harry, which is most likely. He's a busy man on Facebook and YouTube.
Both do.
And your book, you haven't got it with you, but your Asian book, can you let us know what that's about?
Yes, I wrote a book in January. It's out on Amazon if you typed in. It's on urine therapy, but not just urine therapy. It's actually dedicated to aged urine. I believe the first book on aged urine, the first of many, I hope. It's a very short book, but it's full of information on how to use aged urine for beginners. Not just got information for advanced practitioners, like geeky information on why, the science behind what we know and why aged urine works and how to apply it. So that'd be that in enema, be that in through the mouth, because aged urine is actually very okay and very powerful to drink, which means that you know already. But all this information is in the book there. So if you're new to urine therapy and aged urine, have a look at it, buy it. If you're not new to it, you're still going to get good information from it. Check it out.
Sorry, what was the name again?
It's called Aged Urine Discovery of the Century.
Discovery of the Century, and that's on Amazon. How much is that?
It's £11.50 at the moment. So I won't go up for that price.
Too bad, is it?
It's got a lot of good knowledge on it, sure. And then I'm going to write a book. I'm not sure by the time this is released, if it's not, or if it's not, next couple months, do a book on sunlight, melatonin grounding, and sun gazing, which is the topic we talked about.
Watch out. Harry Matadine is taking over. Taking over. So, thank you very much, guys, for sharing the space with us today.
Thank you.
This is the Need to Know Crosstalk Show. Lee Dorset, Harry Matadine. Wholeness.
Cheers.